Yo, ID in the house, baby.
Yeah, with Proxy Table Gaming YouTube, Hyper G and Lucky Sixes.
Up and down, respectively. Bow,
Yeah,
bow, bow, bow. We are here once again for an army book review.
another one.
Another one. So many. Every single army brought to you by us for your viewing pleasure. And why not do ID while we're here, eh?
May as well.
So,
Yeah.
talking about the Infernal of the Dwarves, we look into it. Quite a few changes, nothing drastic across the board.
We'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Nothing quite like the High Elves, anyway. So, looking into their army rules, the Infernal brand has had a slight addition. It only counts when you lose a round of combat. I can't see how being steadfast. Maybe it worked the opposite way, so you counted as having an extra rank to stop people steadfast. But now it's just basically so that you don't lose steadfast.
Yeah.
So a slight change in that you're not overpowering anyone; you're just holding firm.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's like a buff to your steadfast as opposed to like you've said,
ranks,
overpowering people, because that can overpower people, I guess.
Yeah, so I quite like that. Actually, it's more dwarfy to stand firm than to run after them. To make them flee. But yeah, so there's that. Into the blunderbusses, and it does now suffer from negative to hit modifiers from standard shoot. So you would think,
no,
but
it's got steady aim.
They've added steady aim. So
yeah,
that's a rulebook change. Kind of similar, I think, with the flint axe counting as a halberd. In the it used to be a two-handed weapon with +1 strength that can be enchanted, but now it's a halberd, which is the same, but it's
extra
specifically yes, an extra AP, and also I guess only halberd enchantments can enchant it. So I don't know whether that affects much from that point of view, but
yeah. I suppose a halberd is still a close combat weapon, and there's still enchantments. That,
it's just an easier way of saying it's a halberd, and you gain an AP out of it, so happy days.
And the shooting extra rank is an interesting one, isn't it? They didn't have that before, did it?
No, that's something I've missed actually. Yeah, so shooting
in 3 ranks, basically. That's cool.
Not going to have to go as wide on these guys, I guess. From that point
it seems like maybe. I mean, obviously if the viewers are watching it in different order, we've just recorded Highborn Elves, and they've got a bit of extra shooting and extra rank, and so these guys. So maybe that's a movement across a few armies here and there.
A few specific units getting some shooting buffs, but yeah, I don't know how that is a buff to it, but I will see in terms of prices and things. A bit of blue text on the rocket battery, but I think that's just to say that it's the misfires aren't as bad.
Yeah.
Basically, or potentially as bad.
Yeah.
Because
if you don't roll a misfire, then you don't have to worry about it anyway.
But for multiple ones, you don't get -2 modifier. So
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fine. It is what that is. Hereditary spell. There is blue change, but is it a change? I never know how Incendiary worked. It's one of those things.
Yeah, it is one of those things. You're just like, oh, okay, you put a token on me.
Yeah, I think it's only blue text because of the different casting.
Oh, the upgrade. Yeah, it's exactly the same.
So I think it's exactly the same. So don't worry about your hereditary. It mechanically works the same. Of course, we are not going to mention that magic attack's been taken away from special items, weapons, because they are across the board given it in the rule book. So don't worry about that. However, Onyx Core ignores is always
strength from Infernal.
always strength 6.
Yeah.
Regardless of anything. So again, just a better way of saying that, really.
Yeah, always is like never any exceptions, and that's clarified in the rule book, isn't it? When it's something that says always.
Kadim bindings. I know I'm sort of skipping one, but Kadim bindings can now be taken by models with Towering Presence.
Okay.
But obviously, is not the Aegis is max 3+ rather than 2+, which is across the board. Probably one of the biggest changes is going to affect ID more than anything, right?
Yeah.
That 3+. So expect us to talk about that again. Either bull is strength 5 rather than depending what your strength is.
Okay.
So it's a more of a clarification, I think, to what it
Yeah,
was.
and simplification as well.
Simplification,
Yeah, yeah. That's all right. That's fine. I mean, no points changes to worry about. So
does it lose the... So close combat attacks is set to the wielder's offensive skill, so it loses that side of things.
yes. So I guess really you're wanting to put it on something that will benefit from the up increase to strength 5, whereas before you could put it on an offensive 6 model and get strength 6. But now so this is better for the this is better for a low offensive skill model.
Yeah, because you only
but
have
worse for a high offensive skill model.
You only have one attack anyway with the Eye of the Bull, because that's what it says later on.
Sure.
At multiple. So I don't know. I don't know whether I think that is overall just a simplification rather than what your thing is. I don't know whether
it's on a flintlock axe as well, so I guess that's a halberd.
Yeah. So your strength 5.
But you got AP 10 anyway, so that won't matter.
Yeah. Not much of a change, and points haven't changed, so it suggests it's pretty similar to before.
Yeah.
Into banner enchantments, and Banner of Twice Branded is a complete rework, I think.
Looks like it. A lot of text is gone anyway, so yeah.
Activate the start of the thing. Bearer's unit was successfully charged. It may perform a combat reform.
Okay. So they don't need the first sentence of the old one because that's in the rulebook now anyway. In addition,
it's used once only, which was different to before, and it used to be.
I think it's just a simpler rewrite.
It's a simpler rewrite, and it's 20 points cheaper because it's one time only. So there's not, I guess, many times when you would do it more than once. In a battle.
If you're constantly getting charged, then you're obviously doing all right to win.
Anyway, so I think that's why it's got cheaper. But overall, more of a rewording than a rework. But it is one use only now. Whereas I don't think it was before. The Tablet of Vizcaganish is 10 points.
Good work.
Expensive, but I think it was a good item anyway.
Very much so. I mean, Glory of Gold is a fantastic spell to get access to, so yeah.
Yeah. So otherwise, that's it for the changes there.
Yeah.
Overlord is slightly cheaper. He's lost arrogance completely. It's gone.
Okay.
There was when it initially came out, there was that, will it?
There was uproar.
Will it affect things because it's all that stuff and fear tests that people will be able to get away from it, blah blah blah. But yeah, I don't.
It's a rule that's changed a lot.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of history of change, hasn't it? And now it's just gone.
And it's just gone. So there was at one point frenzy baiting, wasn't there, with it as well? But anyway, Keys to the Citadel. You buy. You always had to buy 2 weapon enchantments, but and now one of them is half cost. So good. It's a buff overall, and the model itself got cheaper. So the model itself is going to get cheaper overall. They're pretty good.
I guess basically now it's just saying you may as well buy 2 expensive enchantments, because the second one is half price.
Yeah. So we'll see how much that changes the Overlord builds. Profits the same. Looking at all.
Well, I mean, they already had a lot of complicated rules anyway.
Yeah.
I'm surprised not to see a bit of simplification there, but it's fine.
But they've simplified it elsewhere, I guess, is where they like this model, and it's saying the same. The Vizier stays the same, and the Torok Commissioner gains tall.
Okay.
That seems to be that coincide with the centaurs from Beast Herds a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe that's the thing that was thought about. But otherwise, stays the same.
I think the Torok ritual was an option for other things, and that included having Tor, whereas this guy doesn't need the Torok ritual because he's a Torok already and didn't have Tool, so it was kind of a mismatch.
Sure.
Whereas this brings it in line.
Yeah, no, great. The Conjurer is the same. The Lamassu gains exclusive, but I think it already had something of that ilk.
Probably Loner, was it? Was it called Loner there? Oh no, it didn't have it at all. But I guess it was. Don't know whether there was anything for it to join anyway.
Yeah. So
this just clarifies it can't join anything.
Just a clarification of that. But otherwise, no changes, and that sort of takes us to the character mounts where you see no other changes. The Kadim Chariot, anything with flaming basically has gone from 2+ to 3+.
Yeah.
So that's in the Kadim.
We still haven't found one they've missed, so that's good.
No, yeah, that's mainly. Interesting that the I guess the Bull of Shamut gains exclusive. I think it's just a thing because as you said, there's not much that could join it. But I guess
were they units of Bulls of Shamuts?
Yeah, I didn't see any.
I mean, no, I didn't see any, but that sounds like a cool idea. Oh, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. The Infernal Bastion is attached and exclusive, which is just a rulebook rewording. So don't worry about that. It doesn't change from that point of view.
No.
Core and there are no Ziggurat regulars anymore. So you can't gain Fighting X rank and Great Weapon. So the Fighting X rank basically is gone from them.
That's interesting.
Maybe because it was quite highly seen. They tend to do that. Okay. You often seen from ID those big 900-point core units, which is the Ziggurat regulars that get a bit of best of both worlds with the Great Weapon of Fire. I don't necessarily think this is a good change because it was quite expensive anyway.
It really limits the amount of attacks your unit's getting unless you're going in line formation.
You still get the Great Weapon as an option.
And quite cheap, actually. 3 points per model.
Basically, it was 5 for Great Weapon and Fighting Extra Rank, and now it's just 3 for Great Weapon as the option. So
yeah, I still think other units are probably paying more for Great Weapons, though, especially on an Agility 2 model.
Yeah, maybe.
But maybe that's because it is such a nerf losing the Fighting Extra Rank.
I think so.
That the Great Weapons have to still be quite
3 points a model is quite a lot for a 9-point.
In core though, that's all part of your core tanks, so you're okay with it.
We'll see. I don't. It's not too much of a change. You normally lose 6, maybe 7, depending on what sort of formation you use. Say maximum 8 attacks, but yeah, it's a high strength 5 from core, so a bit of a nerf there.
Yeah.
Silver Guard have stayed the same though. Apart from Flint Axe has got more expensive. That's because it's quick to fire. Was it quick to fire?
No, shooting 2 ranks.
Yeah,
shooting 3 ranks. Sorry, extra rank.
Shooting extra rank.
Plus 1 AP in combat.
So yeah. So overall, not too bad. 1 point extra from that. I think that's pretty good.
That is a good exchange. Yeah.
The vassal levies have got cheaper. And the has been gained.
Has it taken out the special champion?
No, these now have an option for a champion. Oh yes, no, it has.
Yeah, because the vassal chieftain is gone.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's the simplification there.
Ooh, could that be a bit of a spoiler for what's to come for the Orcs and Goblin book?
Maybe, yeah, maybe
they have a special champion thing. It's similar.
So
the sneaky git fella.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't mean Orcs and Goblins actually, although I kind of do. The ogres, the
scraplings.
Yeah, the scraplings. They had a similar champion model. So we haven't seen
so yes,
yet, so that could be interesting.
Lost the vassal chieftain as an option, which is a shame. I would quite fun. Nothing.
Take away the fun.
Yeah, take fun away. Shackled slaves have got even more cheaper, and they can march better.
Oh yes, so that's really topical.
You triple march them up, being
interesting.
Being a a dwarf, I guess.
But they've lost enslaved porters completely, though.
Yes, in exchange of unstable as a rulebook change, I
These
guess.
are nerfed completely. Then they're 20 points cheaper.
Yeah, but they don't have the support to what they are. So they are literally numbers and operations.
Totally different use for them then.
Stand behind the shackle slaves.
Yeah, careful there. Yeah, very much so. It's a totally different use for them. If you want a tar pit,
they are very
forward.
much a tar pit with unstable, but they will lose numbers quite a lot. So that's probably
Yeah.
why they came down originally. But yeah, lost some of the mechanics there. And what I guess you're seeing is a simplification of the army across the board, really. From that point of view.
Who would ever pay for shields?
Yeah. Kadeem Incarnate's got cheaper, but they lost the 2-up. This is probably where one of the only ones that you've seen where the 2-up was ultra important because they're proper RPS with that point of view. So they have got affected by that and got a bit cheaper. I still think there's a good unit and use the same. Just I guess more chip damage from pyro and stuff, really.
Out of interest, because this one bugged me for so long. RPS stands for rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
It took me so long to work that out. I'm so ashamed of myself.
Yeah.
But RPS stands for rock, paper, scissors. That's what we mean. And that's taken me so long to work that out. I'm so ashamed to say it, but I'm explaining it to all those people who are like me.
There are no silly questions here.
Worked it out. Yeah. Too right. Yeah. Nice. And I didn't listen to anything you said after that. So
no, literally, they're RPS. Don't worry about it. Kadeem and Chariots just lost the 2+ to Aegis. Immortals have stayed the same. Disciples of Luca have lost the 2+ Aegis to Flaming, but otherwise have stayed the same. Turok Enforcers have stayed the same.
Because they already had Tall anyway, so they didn't need it adding.
Yeah, so that's where that I guess, as you say, has been.
Whereas the Anointed have had it added, so I think they're just clearing up that discrepancy.
Extra models are a little bit tiny more expensive, but for me, it's better because it's a round number and not 96 as 100. So I would have done that a long time ago for my OCD.
Surely make them 95, right? Or is that still not whole enough
true.
for you?
No, maybe 100 is a nicer number, but not for the ID anyway. Vassal Cav have got slightly more expensive, cheaper, sorry, and now have the option for a champion.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the same. So they've lost the
Vassal
option
Chieftain.
the Vassal Chieftain.
So will we be seeing Joe's 15 model Vassal Cavalry even cheaper now?
Yeah, well, they'll be even cheaper for sure. I think it's a simplification.
It's fine.
And done what it is. The Vassal Slingshot is now 20 points cheaper. The Oil Flasks is just been moved.
I didn't see that earlier. Where was Oil Flasks earlier?
Apologies for anybody watching.
I'm looking up. Yeah, Oil Flasks is in attack attributes on page 2, the bottom of page 2. If one or more simultaneous attacks with Oil Flasks hit, after resolving these attacks, the target unit gains 1 incendiary marker. So it is still there.
So it's still there. And
is it the same?
Let you have a look at it, and then we'll go down to.
Oh, so basically, you've got Oil Flasks built into your normal shot.
Yes.
Rather than having a choice of how to shoot it.
Yeah.
That's a simplification. That's fine. That's better, I think. Because the Oil Flask shot was terrible before.
It's also a bolt thrower for 105 points.
That's insane. Yeah, the more I look at it, the more I realise this is cheap as. You could get 2 of these in straight away.
I mean, what is it? It's 210, so that's
210 for 2 bolt throwers.
I can't even work that out. It's 5%?
What? I don't know.
Yeah,
what was it?
5% of your army is 2 bolt throwers, which can keep a lot of cowboys and monsters a bit worried. And it's only going to hit on 5s, whatever, and 6s.
And you're giving out your Oil Flasks, which is still worth saying.
Yeah,
it's not like they've lost it, because Incendiary is really cool.
Yeah, I think this is a real good. I don't know whether there was a consensus in the ID where the static war machines weren't being used because everything.
It seems like a lot of them have got cheaper or better or both.
But yeah, even when we go down to the gunnery teams, they've got Oh well, they got more expensive, ironically, but
Yeah.
but they have gained shield.
Did they used to say grind
For what
attack
it's worth.
D33?
No, D3,
Yeah.
and now it's
The-
3.
the-
That would
oh,
be
they're
good.
now 3. Right.
I
Okay. Yeah.
like the idea
I
that
didn't
they've
see the last 3
created
wasn't
a
crossed out.
dice for the ID. That's where all
Brilliant.
the complication is, because everyone has to buy a D33. No, so
Yeah.
so they've got better in terms of they've got an extra pip of armor and their grind attacks 3. Right, so
Yeah.
your gunnery team, which is mainly going to be shooting, can also support in a flank, I guess, or on the or clipping.
Yeah, and mechanized support is gone because they've just got attached and
Yeah.
exclusive now, which is
Um,
again a simpler way of putting it. So good.
Yeah, so 5 points for that. You normally pay 5 points for a shield, so the extra certainty to the grind, fair enough. Otherwise, they'll play pretty much the same, but maybe a bit more gung ho towards the end.
I think that's better. Yeah,
Rewording for the Infernal artillery and the Titan mortar has got slightly more cheaper. By 5 points.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The Bastion has just got a attached an exclusive rulebook rule change.
Yeah, but nothing fancy added to it.
Fancy. I don't think is that with the Infernal engine. I don't think that is a change.
It's just added overrun to it, and from the melee phase.
Yeah, sure. So
how do you overrun outside of the melee phase? Is that if your unit dies that you're fighting? Sometimes there's a rare occasion where the unit you're fighting dies before you fight the combat.
So more of a clarification, added it in overrun.
Yeah.
There.
They obviously decided that was necessary, so fair enough.
Yeah, yeah, it come up enough for it to be.
Yeah.
The Kadim Titan. So
a few blue here.
A few blue. It's got more expensive, but that's because the walking earthquakes +3 attacks have been given to the Kadim Titan as standard. So you start off with 6 attacks regardless of whether you're a volcano or an earthquake. Obviously the 2+ has got changed to a 3+. That's as standard. The walking earthquake is far more cheaper as well, because obviously you don't get that, and also you have lost the +1 offensive and defensive,
which is pretty big.
Which was big. Which was so it's a nerf, but we'll get 10 points cheaper.
Well, and actually 50 points cheaper because you've lost 40 points in the walking earthquake.
Well, yeah, but you've gained 30 points from the base model.
Oh right, I see. I'm with you. Yeah. Gotcha.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Is what it is from that point of view.
I don't remember seeing any walking volcanoes.
No,
it was always walking earthquakes. So it'll be interesting to see if that changes now.
Yeah, I guess having the 6 attacks as standard would potentially make them more viable. Because
if you don't quite have the points for a walking earthquake, now you can just take a walking volcano and you've still got 6 attacks.
Yeah, so and you don't lose the -1 offensive, but basically the option for is D3+1 volcanic embrace rather than 1, and swift stride rather than a shooting.
Yeah.
So it's a decent trade off. 70 points. I think the earthquake is still better, but for sure the volcano has been made better as well. So
yeah, I mean Swift Stride on its own is worth 70 points on a model like this. So yeah,
for sure. The giant, however, has stayed exactly the same, and that there finishes our ID rulebook. And overall, I think the feel for sure is an oversimplification of rules. Probably a nerf overall with the ziggurats gone.
But then static artillery maybe has got a buff. So.
Maybe, yeah.
And flintlock axis I think have got a buff.
Yeah, so maybe the shooting side of things are slightly better for the idea, but they do have to compete with blunderbusses as well. So there's a lot of competition.
Yep.
So maybe that's more of an internal balance than overall. Infernal Dwarves are getting better. But yeah, so overall, I think it's easier to understand for us non-ID folk. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah.
And yeah, probably you'd say a slight nerf, but I think that's the way most books are going.
What it might do is encourage a few different lists to come out,
Yeah,
and that's always a good thing.
yeah.
You know, whether or not they will actually stay out is another thing. But
Mm.
yeah,
As always, guys, let us know how the rule book and Arcane Compendium changes have affected your things. Have affected everyone, but it's good to see how they've affected each army individually.
yeah,
Let us know whether we've missed some glaringly obvious things, ideas, and our standard army. But it's nice to have a look at and to see what has changed for the new meta. Let us know what you think the new meta is. Are those
yeah.
vassal cav now completely redundant without the chieftain? And do you like the changes that they've
Yeah.
implemented? And yeah,
Awesome.
make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button to see all of the army changes and all the content coming up. That includes Masters, Art of War, and some international skirmishes, as well as some Warhol stuff as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, share, subscribe, hit us up. Please comment. You guys are always so good at that anyway, but it's always nice to hear other people's views. And I'll breathe and say, see you later.
Nothing for me to add.
Get your feet so back, relax,